IFRS 17 is scheduled to replace IFRS 4 in just a little less than 2 years. An AM Best report on IFRS 17 details what's in store for insurers come January 1st of 2022. I'm John Weber for AM Best TV. Here to discuss those changes is the author of the report, Tony Silverman, Associate Director, Criteria and Research. And Tony, can you explain what exactly is IFRS 17?
IFRS 17 is an accounting standard promulgated by the International Accounting Standards Board, which is a global body based, in fact, in London. And it's a new accounting standard for insurance contracts. It replaces IFRS 4, which was the previous one. And I'm putting it that way because it applies to insurance contracts rather than insurers. So it's the insurance liability number that it focuses on. And insurers remain subject, as they are now and as they will continue to be, to all the other accounting standards for the other parts of their reporting.
What problems is IFRS 17 meant to solve?
Well, it is there, actually, as you imply the question, John, for some very good reasons. And they're to do with the problems around previous reporting for insurers. The first is that previous reporting was inconsistent. IFRS 4, which I mentioned before, grandfathered previous practice. So the reporting does things in a different way in different countries. It does it in different ways for different products, for some of which there may be good reasons, but for some of which there may be bad reasons, and for some of which there's really no reason at all. So it's inconsistent, not necessarily for good reasons, and often not for good reasons. Consistency is something which users of financial reporting value, and IFRS 17 is there to do a bit more of that. So that's one reason. And the other one, really, and this is crucial for users of all users of financial reporting, the numbers that are there in the existing reporting, and as I've said, they vary in how it's done. So inevitably, they all have equally varying relationships to value, to the market values of the items that are being reported. And that's quite deeply problematic for all users of financial reporting. And it's not just that. It's not just that it varies and that it's what it means is it differs, and in fact often it can actually be unclear. But what it does mean is that it's also very complex, and it's bad for the motivating factors, the all-encompassing motivating factor for IFRS 17 was that the previous reporting was felt to be bad for the public image of the insurance sector in financial markets, because you have to be too much, arguably, of a specialist to get a reasonable picture of an insurer's performance and circumstances, and that's not sufficiently communicated by previous financial reporting. So these were the drivers why IFRS 17, these are the issues that IFRS 17 is there to attempt to solve.
Tony, if the changes are so necessary, why do insurers seem to be so happy that the implementation is being delayed for as long as it is?
That is a very, very good question. And the answer really revolves around the difficulties of implementation. Part of the reason for the way financial reporting has previously been done is that it was the framework was part of a system which was for the convenience of the companies. A lot of these companies started out as mutuals and didn't really have, and the reporting has evolved over a long period of time. And it's just not really, it doesn't really serve the purpose for companies which have significant external financial stakeholders, whether that's credit investors or commercial counterparties, or indeed investors. So though IFRS 17, in meeting the challenges that it sets out to do, it does involve new records, new data, new systems, and the implementation amounts to quite a chasm for the companies to cross. So this is a big deal in that sense. And it's really implementation, the issues around implementation, that drive all the separate reasons that companies are perhaps happy that it's being delayed.
Could the new standard have any impact on a company's rating?
Well, the short answer is we don't expect any near-term impact on ratings. We'll be taking a different route to the same destination. We're going to be starting with different numbers, often not just the same quantities calculated differently, but new quantities in many cases, with different qualities. And we'll be identifying the underlying economics as we do now. And it's not expected that there'll be any near-term impact on ratings. What remains the case is that companies, there may be second-order behavioral effects, if I can put it that way, because companies may behave differently. The old adage, what gets measured gets managed, will probably feed through, and companies will, to some degree, change what they do, and maybe even the products to suit the reporting, and some way down the road that may have an effect, which is we monitor ratings monitored continuously, and a fresh look some way down the road may have some effect in that way.
Tony Silverman, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.
You can find the full report online at ambest.com, and for AM Best TV, I'm John Weber.